Shalom. Title of this video is Soy Sauce is Made from Human Hair. Okay, so background to this video. This is my third video regarding the use of soy. The use of human byproducts in soy, in the production of soy. I don't really have any proof of this, but I have a theory that soy is not a natural crop. It's actually something that's just made from the production of dead people, or just the leftover parts of dead people. You see here, this is from scmp.com. It's an article. It says a company in Hubei, which is in China, has been promoting powders and liquid made from human hair as a new breakthrough ingredient for soya sauce manufacturer. But health officials have warned that ingesting hair could be dangerous. See, this is just only one of the articles. There's several articles that talk about this. A couple YouTube videos, and this is just one of the products that they make from the leftovers of a dead human. And there's a history of cannibalism in China as well. I'm pretty sure China has went through periods of when did cannibalism start in China? Other researchers have pointed out that 421 victims who could be identified by the names were eaten, and there were reports of cannibalism across dozens of countries in Guangxi. Right, and its location is part of the Cultural Revolution 1967 through 1976. So China has a large population of people. I think they have one of the largest populations in the world, next to India. And I'm pretty sure they went through times where there were great famines in China. And whenever there's a famine, this is when some people are not necessarily forced, but this is when some people turn to cannibalism during this time. This is what happened to the Canaanites. In the Bible, it talks about the story of the Canaanites in the book of Joshua. There was a famine in the land of Canaan when the sons of Jacob were sojourning in the land of Canaan. And I believe that in order to drive out the Canaanites, the Most High sent a famine in the land. I believe there's a worldwide famine. I know there was a famine in Canaan, and there were different places around the world had a famine, and everybody was coming down into Egypt. And our ancestors went into Egypt and dwelt there for about 430 years total. Right, so during that 430 years, there was still a famine in Canaan, and those people turned to cannibalism. But this is just a way to drive the people out of the land without destroying the land. See, they were occupying land that wasn't theirs. I'm just giving an example of cannibalism. I might make a separate video regarding that, but there is a scripture in the book of Joshua. I'll go there right now, where it says, I'm just going to go there right now. All right, so I'm going to go this is the book of Numbers, and I'm in the 13th chapter, the 32nd verse. This is when Joshua and his army were going through and driving and destroying and genociding the people out of the promised land. And they brought up an evil report of the land which they had searched unto the children of Israel, saying, the land through which we have gone to search it is a land that eateth up the inhabitants thereof, and all the people that we saw in it are men of a great stature. So they're using this as kind of a euphemism for the word cannibalism. It just says eateth up the inhabitants. Like eateth up, right? Meat. Devour. It devoured the inhabitants, right? So this is an example here, and you can see here where it says, and this is before um okay, so here this is in Genesis 47. Here it is, where it says Genesis 47:4. They said moreover unto Pharaoh, for to sojourn in the land are we come, for thy servants have no pasture for their flocks, for the famine is sore in the land of Canaan. Now therefore we pray thee, let thy servants dwell in the land of Goshen. So this is when they left the land of Canaan, because there was a famine, and they went and dwelt in Goshen, which was part of the land of Egypt. This is the land that we were given when Joseph was the president of Egypt. He was the third in command, next to the Pharaoh and next to his son. Then after that was Joseph. He was like the head of the kingdom, right? Because he was able to read a vision that the king received. He was able to interpret the vision when no one else could interpret it. So they placed him as third in command over the kingdom of Egypt. So after 430 years, we were released out of Egypt, and you get that in the book of Exodus. And then we went back into the land of Canaan, and the people were cannibals. They had turned into cannibals because there was a famine, right? So this has been going on for a long period of time. I mean, I'm not going to say this is natural, but this is just something that happens, and it's probably going to happen here in the United States as well and around the world, because there are about to be famines. There are famines now, and it's only going to increase due to the judgment that's going to be unleashed on this earth. So you're going to see probably this now. And they talk about how soy, they used to do it. They used to do something where they started fermenting soy, and then it became edible. Before, I guess you couldn't eat it. You have to look up I might do a whole video on this, but I'm just kind of paraphrasing here from what I read. How you used to couldn't eat soy until they started to ferment it. So they found a new process to make it more edible, because if you just eat human flesh or some type of human product, you get some type of disease. It's called, what is it called? Kufu, disease from cannibalism. Kuru is a very rare disease. It's caused by an infectious protein, prion, found in contaminated human brain tissue. Kuru is found among people from New Guinea who practice a form of cannibalism in which they ate the brain of dead people as part of a funeral ritual. So they call it something called Kuru. You're not supposed to eat your own kind, right? This is an abomination. All right, we have all these animals to eat. Even clean animals, if you don't practice a kosher diet. I mean, a pig isn't kosher, but I guess that would be better than eating a human, right? I don't consume any pork at all, but still I used to eat it. I used to tear it up, but I don't eat it anymore. So I just wanted to make a video regarding this, and how cannibalism, again, I did 2 different videos on this. It reveals this at the end of the movie Soylent Green. I made a video about this, and then I made a subsequent video about the fast food chain Raising Cane's, which really means it's abbreviated form of raising cannibals. And I told you these people who follow this Babylonian mystery religion, they tell you things, they reveal things to you in a certain way. It's like they telling you something, but you don't necessarily see it. It's like I guess, I don't know what it's called. It's just part of their religion, and they show you on a video. And I said this on a movie, when they show you McDonald's, and they show you that cannibal clown, right? You show you this person with red hair and red lips. The red lips indicated the person has blood on their lips, so that means that Ronald McDonald is a cannibal. That's what clowns are, and you see it in the movie It. They made 2 different movies. One was from the 80s, or it was either the early 90s or the 80s. And then they made an updated version of It, the second part of It. And it shows that this clown was a cannibal. He were eating people in that movie, right? So you see this all around the world. You're dealing with some wicked people. And when I found this out, I'm not saying I never consume soy, because a lot of stuff you consume soy without even knowing it. Right now, I believe I'm soy free. I don't eat any food that contains soy. I eat specifically fish that's not farm raised, because the farm raised fish is fed soy. I'm not saying all farm raised fish is, but a lot of it is. Fish that's produced in like China, Europe, different places around the world. They feed farm raised fish soy. They feed the cows soy. They feed the chicken soy. They feed the pig soy. So you can find different websites. Usually if you find like a local farm, I shop at a place called North Star Bison. It's a website. You can look it up. Food is more expensive, but it is soy free. You could taste the difference in it too. It tastes completely different from the food you buy at the grocery store, even grocery stores like Whole Foods. Might be okay for a chicken or a turkey to eat soy, which is a byproduct of humans, because turkeys and chickens are scavengers. They'll go out and eat a lot of different things. They'll eat bugs. They might even practice I believe I read that they even practice cannibalism too, or they can. But again, you don't really want to eat. You are what you eat. You don't want to eat something that has eaten a dead person, right? Like would you eat a vulture? Let's say a person died in the wilderness, in the forest somewhere. The vultures are going to come and eat that animal to clean the environment. They're going to come and eat all the flesh and everything from the animal and the blood, because it's gonna pollute the air. So to avoid it polluting the air, all the animals, the insects, and all that stuff are gonna come and eat the animal, and they'll just leave just the bones, right? So would you want to eat a vulture after it's eaten a human? I wouldn't want to eat that, right? So I just wanted to make a subsequent video. Any additional information that I find out regarding this, I'll do it. And, like I said, they have soy pretty much, like pretty much all meat produced commercially, with the exception of meat that you can find from certain farms, specialty farms like North Star Bison. You can look it up. I mean, you might be able to find like certain farms in your state or near your city that they'll advertise as they don't use soy, or they'll be grass-fed cows, grass-fed lamb, things of that nature, grass-fed bison. So you don't have to consume soy because it's not good for you. That's why they put a warning on all these different food labels. Even when I'm even kind of hesitant to eat something that's produced in a factory that also produces soy. But I've emailed a couple places. I mean, I don't really eat a lot of processed foods. I try to stick to like a whole foods diet, where I just kind of stick to one ingredient. And if I eat something like a cookie or something, I make it all myself from scratch. But I mean, even then, it's like you could buy something like some organic cornmeal, and it's produced in a factory that produces soy. So I try to avoid that usually. But I've contacted a couple companies, and they say that they really have stringent cleaning techniques for, like, when they use this on the same assembly line or the same production line, they might clean it really good with bleach. So they have really stringent cleaning products. But even then, I don't know if you could still get it all out, and this might even be in the air too. So I try to avoid it at all costs when I'm looking at labels, but it's hard. But I know some people probably don't really care. But if you're trying to follow a kosher diet like our ancestors did, like the Hebrews did, then you want to remove soy from your diet, because I truly do believe that it's made from the byproducts of humans. Again, I don't know if it's come directly from their flesh or their fat or something, but I believe it's really made from that. You just wonder how they could sell stuff like McDonald's. And again, like back to what I was saying about how they had a mascot, Ronald McDonald, is a cannibal clown. So you wonder, how could McDonald's sell something for like $1? Like, how could they sell a burger for $1? How could they sell something so cheap? Like, if you go to a store, you see how much, you find out how much a McDonald's burger weighs, and then go see how much the cheapest like ground beef is at the grocery store. And then you wonder, how could they sell something for so cheap, like $1 burger, or something off their dollar menu. Well, if it's made from a human, then it doesn't cost them anything to produce it. I mean, yeah, they have to get it, but when a person dies, what's the first thing they do? They put them in a freezer. because they're gonna harvest their organs, harvest their skin, harvest a lot of things from a human, right? And I made it on my first video where I talked about it. I don't believe they even bury all people in cemeteries, because there's too many people that die every year, and they don't have enough cemeteries in this earth to do that. So they probably using it, and they turn it into an industry. So they don't want to waste anything. So they don't really care. They feed a bunch of poor people, especially in this country. They give away food stamps like water. And a lot of those cows and chickens are made in factory farms. They're produced there. So they just, they hook the cows up to machines, and they're draining their milk from them. And they're just sitting up there eating soy all day when a cow was supposed to eat grass, right? You could drive through Wisconsin or Ohio or somewhere where it's rural farmland, and you'll see a cow eating grass. That's what they were designed to eat. But again, there's a high demand for it, and some greedy, wicked people. And this is a meat-eating country, and a lot of people are obese. So they have a high, a high demand for food. So they just mix in some GMO corn and soybean feed. And they put the animals, some animals don't even see the sun, and they just feed them in these big factory farms, and they feed them soy, and then when they get to a certain weight, they slaughter them. And then they put it and they send it to the grocery store. And that's the same thing with milk. Even organic milk is fed soy. Now they do have, like if you go to Whole Foods or like Trader Joe's, they do have what's called grass milk, where you could get milk that's specifically 100% grass-fed milk, but it's probably like double the price of conventional milk, either conventional milk or even organic conventional milk. They say it's organic, but it's not really organic because it comes from a cow that doesn't eat an organic diet. Cows don't eat soy, they eat grass, right? So you dealing with, again, just like during the times of slavery, you hear the stories of how they feed people slop, where you getting a form of slop now because you are what you eat, and you eating a animal that's been corrupted, right? Its whole DNA structure probably is corrupted before they kill it. And then you're eating it. So you are what you eat, right? You want to eat something from a healthy animal, right? It's gonna show in your body what you eat. You're gonna see the result of it from the things that you eat, right? So I'm not trying to preach to people on how to eat, because, again, I used to eat a very bad diet. I was raised a certain way to not really care about my health. I was confused. Right? They talk about the Babylonians are Confucianists. They confuse your language. This means a lot of different things, including your language of your natural diet, right? The diet of your ancestors, right? It's right there in the Bible, in the book of Deuteronomy and Leviticus, the things you're supposed to eat, the things you shouldn't eat. You can follow it if you want to, but, they telling us what to eat, right? This is ancient knowledge. I don't want to go on about this too long. I had planned on making a quick video, but sometimes I just kind of run off on a little tangent talking about this, right? And I said in my first video that when I stopped eating soy, I was kind of in the best shape of my life. I started growing like muscles, and I got a 6-pack, and it only took me like a couple months to do it. I was doing push-ups and stuff too, but I wasn't doing like no strenuous workout with like weights or nothing. I would just kind of walk and do a couple push-ups here and there, maybe some calisthenics. Nothing strenuous. And, and I had went vegan for like maybe 2 or 3 months. And I just remember I was in the best shape of my life. People that saw me and they couldn't believe it. Right? And I had inadvertently given up soy. I didn't even know about soy back then. But I was just going to give up all animal products and including dairy. So I gave up all animal products. I was eating mostly whole foods. Like, I would eat a lot of smoothies, like protein shake smoothies. I would make, I would still eat stuff like cookies and stuff, but I would just make it myself. I just make everything homemade. I tried not to eat no processed foods. That was my biggest thing. And I gave up soy, and then I started eating processed foods again. And I just noticed that when I would eat certain foods, I would break out from it. And I look at the label and it had soy in it. That's how I discovered the soy. Then I started doing research. And you'll hear conflicting stories about soy on the internet. Some people say soy is good, and then some people say soy is bad. Well, if soy is good, why do they have to label every damn thing with it on the packaging? When they make it in a factory or if it's on a label, they have to label everything that has soy in it. But they don't. The one thing they don't do is tell you that chickens are. They'll even tell you that some chicken is organic, but they don't tell you that it's. They'll say it's non-GMO feed and all this stuff, but they don't tell you that it's fed soy. You have to go do research, like you have to go look at the farm's website of where the chicken come from and do your own research, right? Yeah, so yeah, a lot of the stuff here is corrupted. Again, this isn't just in America. This is all, a lot of places around the world do the same thing. But I did notice I took a vacation to Mexico a couple years ago, like back in 2017. And I noticed then that the food tasted different there. You know, you always hear people talking about Mexico kind of got a bad rap, it's corrupt. But I noticed, I don't know, and I don't know if this was sure. I tried to look it up, but I couldn't really find anything. I don't know if they feed their animals soy or not. I don't know, but I know I would eat some beef there, and it tasted completely different from the food you ate in the United States, right? But they do have some good food here in the United States. It's just gonna cost you a little bit of money, more money to consume it, right? You go out to any restaurant, especially fast food, but even if you went to a nice steakhouse, unless they specifically say it's a grass-fed beef, it's more than likely something that was fed soy. What is that place called? It's like kind of a luxury place that they deliver the food to you. Omaha Steaks. I even called them because their steaks are a little more expensive than the grocery stores, like their meat products. And I called them and they said they don't use grass-fed beef either. So I'm like, man, y'all charging all this money for some corrupted meat. So yeah, you're gonna have to do your own research if you want any more information. But yeah, it's I believe that it really does come from human byproducts, and it even said that on those websites where they make soy sauce. Right? You might think soy sauce is good, but hey, there's other alternatives like liquid aminos. Coconut liquid aminos is a soy sauce alternative too. And a lot of soy is hidden in a lot of different things. Like it's hidden in Worcestershire sauce, right? You might have a recipe, you making something like I was trying to make some homemade steak sauce, and then I was looking at Worcestershire sauce, and I'm like, man, I looked it up, and I don't even know if it had it on the label. It doesn't really say it on the label. It's just called it Worcestershire sauce. But you look it up on the label, it'll tell you that if you Google it, it'll tell you that Worcestershire sauce is made with soy, but it doesn't say it on the label, right? So it's like it's hitting all over the place, and everybody making. And I told people that I believe this country is being ruled from like China and Japan, and the people have a history of that. And the people from the East, they have a history of being cannibalism. Man, you know the people in China. I'm not saying everybody in China does this, but they're known for eating a lot of different abominable things. Like they'll eat anything. They'll probably eat some roadkill on the side of the road if they can. And you go into a Chinese restaurant in the hood. I'm not saying if you go into a nice Chinese restaurant, it's like that. But I've been to one time, and I never went back to again. I don't know if I had got anything to eat from there, but I think I went with somebody, like a friend, like a long time ago, like maybe like 20 years ago. And I remember the smell was putrid. It smelled like, I don't know what it smelled like in there, but it just smelled very disgusting. I don't even know how they could pass a health inspection. And they might not even really inspect it that much because it's in the hood. So it was in the hood, like in the hood, or where I'm from, Cleveland, Ohio. It was in like the hood of Cleveland, Ohio. So, you know, I never went back there again. But yeah, Chinese people, they have some certain Chinese people, they eat a lot of different things. Like they have certain marketplaces in China. I've seen documentaries about it where they eat bats, and they just eat all type of stuff that would be considered, I guess you could say, a delicacy in other places around the world. Things you wouldn't even imagine to eat, they'll eat it. Why do they do this? I don't know, because they're heathens. That's why they do it. And I guess if you're hungry, if you're hungry enough and you don't have any money, you'll eat anything. I don't know if that's an excuse, but a lot of people in China, a lot of people to feed. So, you know, I'm pretty sure they feed all their chickens and stuff like that soy in China too. So, and their fish ponds. But yeah, them people eat a lot of stuff. They eat tiger, they eat lion, they eat anything. They eat horse meat. They eat a lot of different things. Wide variety of things. And somebody was saying, I was talking to this Arab guy in an Uber thing when the COVID-19 thing broke out, and I was asking what he thought about it, and he was saying, what do you expect? The people in China eat bats, and bats are known to carry things like rabies and other different diseases. So you're not supposed to consume like a bat is basically like a flying rat, and they eat rats too. The people will eat rats and all type of things. And you know what, a lot of rats carry bubonic plague and diseases. Them things dwell in sewers. So would you want to eat something like that dwell in a sewer? Right? That's a different story. I'm going to go ahead and stop here. I don't want to go too far with this, but yeah, do your research. Again, I can't tell you what to eat, but if you like to eat out and you eat fast food, then more than likely it's got some soy in it, or it's fried in some type of soybean oil, or a combination of soy and canola oil. I don't know what canola oil is, but it's another one of those mystery crops. It might be another variation of soy. I don't know that for sure. But yeah, a lot of stuff is fried in that too, so you gotta be careful. You'll see the difference in your health if you give up soy. I eat a soy-free diet. I eat cheese that come from North Star Bison, specifically from soy-free cows, raw cheese only. And I don't eat out anywhere. I haven't eaten at a restaurant or fast food place in a long time. I don't eat none of that stuff. I make all my meals at home. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. So I hope this was helpful to somebody. Shalom.